My husband and I are so excited about today. After the previous day's work, we can't wait to see where the Makuti guys have reached with the roof.
Hi everyone, my name is Lolino. If this is the first time coming across this channel, I do videos around cooking, farming, and homesteading in general. So in today's video, we are back in Kibera. Last week we came into Kibera to pick the round poles and the small tree branches that are going across the house. But unfortunately, they weren't enough. So we are back in Kibera to pick small tree branches and then check them to the site. And hopefully, they're enough today. And hopefully, we get to finish most of the work today. And also, today, I'm also going to give you the update of the roof. We hope that it has come so far and it looks great. So that's what we are going to show you today. Let me show you how the tree branches are looking and then we proceed with our journey.
Let me tell you what happened the first time we came to Kibera to get the fito. Classic first timer mistake. We didn't put much thought into the actual measurements of the house. We just asked around, how many bunches of fito do we need for this size? And we trusted the estimate without digging deeper. We even threw in a few extra bunches just to be safe. Imagine our surprise when the fundis told us those fito will barely cover 2 rooms. Enyewe vitu kwa ground ni different. You see that moment right there? It stung. Because if we had done the math properly, we'd have wrapped this up in one trip and saved ourselves the extra transport hassle. Maybe it wouldn't have felt so frustrating if we could just walk down the road near the site and get more fito easily. But nope, that wasn't the case. We had to go all the way to Kibera. All the tree branches have been packed in the pickup and now we are ready to go to the sites. We directed the driver on which route to follow and off we went. As the driver pulled out, I captured a few shots of the road ahead. With every building and car we passed, the excitement grew. We couldn't wait to get to the site and see how much progress has been made. When we arrived at the site, we couldn't hide our excitement. The Makuti guys had made serious progress on the roof frame. All 4 sides of the roof were now outlined with neatly aligned poles, giving the structure a strong, balanced look that really brought the whole design to life. You will also spot some side-to-side angle support pieces. These are key in locking everything together, making sure the frame holds steady once the roofing layer goes on. Now, today's focus is shifting to the inside and outside walls. We will be fixing the slimmer poles all around the house and starting to shape out the different rooms. By the end of the day, you will clearly see where each space will be. Doors, windows, corridor, you name it. It's the first time the house is starting to show its true layout.
Also, change the kitchen.
Yeah, another thing, thank you for reminding me. Another thing, in the first initial plan, the outdoor kitchen was intended to be placed on this side, but because the roof has been raised high, we are thinking of changing it to the other side. This is my right hand side, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So inside the part, the where we had placed maybe the living room on this side, we are going to change that also.
We'll see. We'll have to talk with Nick.
Okay.
We moved closer to see the roof from inside, and it looked so beautiful. The structure may still be just poles, but that didn't stop us from feeling thrilled by the progress. It genuinely felt like we were already inside the house. The poles were beautifully arranged with such attention to detail. It looked like you could just spread a mattress and just watch the skies. There was something magical about standing in that open space. Even without the walls or a ceiling, you could already picture the rooms, where the kitchen might be, where laughter would echo, where the sun will peek in every morning. It reminded us that our home doesn't begin with bricks or cement. It begins with vision, effort, and moments like this, where everything is still raw but full of promise. We stood there for a moment longer, just soaking it in, grateful for how far we have come. As we waited for the transport guy to arrive, the site was full of movement. Work was in full swing. More holes were being dug to place the poles that will later divide the house into rooms. While that was going on, the team working on the roof frame was busy too. They were adding and securing the final set of horizontal poles, the ones that run across from side to tighten and support the entire structure. That way, when it's time to trim the top poles, everything lines up evenly. Down on the ground, after each pole was dipped and placed into a hole, stones were placed in to keep it steady. Then they will hit the stones down with a short pole while adding soil, packing it all tightly. As the stones were being packed into the holes, the work on the ground kept flowing steadily. There was always something going on. One person mixing soil, another adjusting a leaning pole, someone double checking the spacing before the next one went in. It wasn't loud or rushed, but you could feel that everyone was locked into what needed to happen. Nothing felt random. Even with the sun beating down, the energy stayed up. You would almost forget how far we've come if you weren't standing right in the middle of it. And if you're joining us for the first time, there is a full playlist showing how this journey began. I will place the link card right here so you can catch up and walk with us from the very beginning. Meanwhile, up on the roof, the Makuti guys had already started trimming the ends of the longer poles, cutting them back to match the level set by those final horizontal pieces. Everything was starting to come together, one step at a time. Once a pole was firmly in place, one of the guys will climb up and hammer a nail through the wall plate, connecting it to the pole beneath, locking everything together. And from there, it was a cycle of dig, place, secure, climb, and nail. It didn't take too long before the transport guy showed up with the bundles of fito we were waiting for. He pulled in, parked the pickup, and the men on the site quickly got to work, unloading one bunch after another with the help of his turnboy. As the offloading continued, the turnboy and the transport guy paused for a moment, clearly impressed by what they were seeing. They hadn't witnessed this kind of roof framework before, and you could tell it got their attention. Still, they quickly got back to handing down the fito, one bundle at a time, keeping things moving smoothly. While that was going on, the team on the roof were finishing trimming the final touches on the pole ends, making sure everything was neat and level. Once the fito were all off the truck, the driver left. We were relieved everything had arrived safely, and you could tell he left in even better spirits than when he came. Things picked up quickly once the fito arrived. The bundles were opened, and the men got straight to work. They began by placing each piece carefully, fixing them horizontally onto the upright poles. Bit by bit, they moved with precision, creating evenly spaced lines that slowly started forming the outer frame of the house. They didn't just randomly throw them on. It was clear they had a system, starting from the lower sections and steadily working their way up. At the same time, I was walking around the site, doing what I love, documenting every single step so that you, watching this, can see how it's all coming together. From different corners of the build, I captured angles that showed the dedication and thought being put in every section. They moved from one side of the house to the next, connecting each area with a floor that made it feel like you could already imagine the final look. Eventually, they shifted to the inside, using the same method to fix fito across the inner poles, slowly outlining what will eventually become the house interior layout. It wasn't an actual wall yet, since the spaces hadn't been filled, but from where we stood, it really started looking like the house was growing its first real layers. As I continued going round the structure, watching the walls slowly rise and the shape of the house become clearer, we were all filled with this quiet joy. We stood there, grinning, pointing things out, and taking it all in. It's that feeling of seeing an idea slowly turn into something real. Almost all the major wall sections had been fitted with fito, and even one of the living room window spaces had already been measured and cut out. That little detail felt like a big step forward. It meant things were moving. This wasn't just a frame anymore. It was starting to look like a house. You could already imagine where furniture would go. The spaces were starting to make sense. Even without the roof or proper walls, just the skeleton, the structure felt strong. And even though it was simple, it gave us hope and made us proud of how far we have come. Meanwhile, the roofing team was tying up their own section. By now, most of the overhanging ends had been trimmed down neatly, and only the top ridge area remained untouched. Another long pole was being added horizontally along the highest point of the roof, most likely to finalize the framework before they call it a day. It was one of those moments where you look up and realize just how much has changed in a matter of hours. Inside the house, things were getting even more interesting. The men had already made great progress on the outside walls, and now they were shifting their focus inward. Bit by bit, they started setting up the inner sections, slowly shaping out what will soon be our rooms. It was such a cool moment to watch, especially because earlier, everything inside had just been open space. But now, lines were starting to form. You could see the difference. What will soon be a bedroom, the kitchen, a hallway, even though the walls weren't fully complete. You could already imagine walking through each space. Let me ask you, just by looking at the way the house is coming together, can you already tell which part might be the kitchen? Or maybe where the bedroom will go? It's still early, but sometimes you can guess right. I find it so fun trying to imagine the layout before everything is in place, just using the shape and how things are being spaced out. What do you think? Are you the kind of person who can already see the final picture in your head? What really caught my eye was how calmly everything was moving inside. They weren't shouting or rushing, just quietly getting things done. One person held the fito in place, another nailed it down, and someone else was already ready with the next one. It was almost like watching a quiet flow of steps, simple, steady, and getting the results. We had stepped out for a bit, and just as we were coming back, we caught a quick glimpse of a squirrel running off into its hiding spot. This place seems to have all sorts of small creatures running around, but every time I spot one, I get this strange joy, like I'm in a little forest adventure. So far, we've seen all kinds of rodents, squirrels, field mice, even a porcupine once. And I'll never forget that one day, we spotted a massive hare casually hopping across the site. But nothing beat the evening we came face to face with a huge mongoose. Now that one, I won't lie, it was interesting to watch. My husband and I took a moment to slowly walk through the house, not just to check the progress, but also to really take in what's been created so far. You know, when you step into a space and feel proud of what's becoming. That's exactly how it felt. Room by room, we moved around, inspecting the work, gently pressing on the fito, checking if they had been properly fixed and how firm they felt. Sometimes my husband will knock lightly on one and call me over like, "Babe, come feel this one." And we will both nod in agreement. It's holding well. Other times, we will step back a bit and look at the whole wall, imagining how it will look once it's fully covered. We also shared a few laughs here and there, talking about where certain things might go in the future, like, do we place the sink here or maybe shift it closer to the window? Just walking through the space felt like walking through possibility. That's it for today. Thank you for always coming back to watch our videos. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that anytime we post a new video, you'll get notified. Until next time, guys. Bye. We shall try again tomorrow.